Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming to my, um, I think I'll use my zero brush to do some pointing around, okay, to my aster flowers. It bloomed around my house. I have a wild one till October, end of October. And so I was going to, I try a lot of things this October, and most of the thing it take me 3-4 hours. So I had fun myself, but I decide not to do it here, and so decided finally just do the aster flower. This kind of painting technique are more appropriate for chrysanthemum, a zoom out cherry blossom, and aster flower, and you can also do that with daisy. I promise you we'll do one with daisy, and that will also be kind of fun, okay? It is, the whole painting, I'm holding my brush like this, because you're going back and forth, one hand with two brush, and you see that, and that's kind of fun. And so, just watch the painting and you will have fun. All the information and loose line drawing will be available for you at sunsetpeony.com in my blog. On this blog post, also the paints that I use, but I also show you that in the beginning of this painting. I have a product list if you want to know where I get the other thing. The other, like the paint, the paper, I actually had a link for paper too, and they are mainly at Amazon, but the brushes are at Oriental Art Supply, right? And so these are the brushes that I always use, the Oriental brushes. I always say, now you can see that my zero brush is flaring out, but it doesn't bother me because, I just work around it, I'm very focused on the painting, not on the product. And so this will be like something that you can go check it out, okay? And okay, now I need to show you what I did after I finished and say goodbye, okay? I looked at the painting, I went and used Payne's Gray, intensified this area, and that area, okay? I just want some darker value. It balance out the lighter value, okay? And so I just, it's artist's discretion. I decided that that is what I want. I'm trying to soften this edge. Isn't that funny? I'm trying to, that's just my call, and I decided that it will look better if this part is darker. And so I went in and just did that little thing, okay? And this is going to be really fun. Like I say, we will use this technique on cherry blossom in March. I will try to remember, and next year we'll do chrysanthemum. This is more pointy, okay? The shape chrysanthemum is more young, round, and actually, and they also have overlapping more layer of petal, and we'll see how we're gonna accomplish that, okay? But this is going to be the fun part, and I like to, just slowly work this kind of technique into some of my painting, and so that you guys can learn the different dimension, or learn together the different dimension of watercolor, okay? And so I hope you have fun and take your time. You don't have to go as fast as I can because of the filming, the data amount that I have to use. I tend to go a little bit faster, but this is like my third one because I practiced two of them, and then I practice some little ones too, and so of course I can go faster, right? But you guys don't need to do that, okay? And so I will sign this, and then I will stop talking so much, and then we'll get together and get on with the painting, okay? Thank you, and subscribe to me and have a really fun time, okay? Ask me questions on YouTube if you want to, because that's where I check the most. And thank you for your friendship and for all of your supporting words and practicing, and we will get going, okay? Okay, let's get started, shall we? The sky is very gloomy today. This is Utah. I think from now on, it'll be a few months before we see the sun again. I'm just kidding, of course. Now, I just wanted to show you guys, I have this little drawing. I just scribble it on there. Before I get started, I just wanted you to see that, in the middle of this aster flower, the middle one, we just to help us so we don't lose control or get nervous, we draw the little flowers first, and it will look like it just a little trick and you see, okay? Don't worry about it. But so now that you see the drawing, I'm going to use the eraser and dab off so it's not so obvious. But this drawing, you will be able to see that to get it at my blog, right? As usual, sunsetpeony.com, and just go to this blog post, Aster flower, whatever I will come up with, and you can get the drawing. And so the side supporting flowers, you can see that they look just like an egg, but when you go to the blog, you will see. And today I wanted to show you my color in the actual dishes that I use, and I actually went and cleaned this one up because I say that has been too messy, and it's very painful for me because I love the little color that's left on the side. And you can see just by the way they look, we're gonna use quinacridone violet, which I have explained in my other so what I'm gonna do is use this zero brush and put some water on it, okay? Because my practice was yesterday and now I'm in the morning, so these are all dry, and this is how I use them. And so I just put it right next to me, and I just, like I always show you, once in a while, not always, I have to be fair, I just have a wet brush and I dip the tip. I dip it for the perline green, and the combination of this also on my blog post, okay? And so I don't have to spend too much time talking about sap green and indigo. So I don't mix color. You can tell that if I do mix the color, you will see a color when it dry, a color of some kind of green. But because I don't mix that, I usually just pull color over, or just kind of dip the color, the tip of color, let the color mix on the page. I stress that all the time. That is the way I do it. And this is our quinacridone, dioxazine purple. I just added some new one on there. I probably need to get some liquid in here to get it, soften up. And so when you should, when you watch my other video, you will be able to see why I have them in this way. And I will probably mention it, but we should get started, right? Always press of time. Okay, now, let's do the middle first, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the cadmium yellow medium. Oh, did you actually see me? I'm not always looking at the screen, okay? And just do the middle first, okay? And then we're gonna give it a little chance to dry up, okay? You can leave a little bit white here and there, just for a highlight, like the sun kiss it, and then just this free flower. And then maybe right now we'll do the do a little bit. I usually don't do that because you know that as an artist, sometimes I change my mind. As I go, and I look at the composition and I say, maybe it should be this way, and so I would change it. So I don't usually do this, but today, because of what I'm going to show you in a second, I might want to show you a little bit, okay? And so I assume this is kind of dry. Actually, it's probably, and this is the zero brush, the Chinese brush. Also on my blog, on the product list, I will send links, okay? All of my product. If I could find a link to buy it, I will. Okay, so this is quinacridone burnt orange. Okay, so you see that's how I pick up my color. Okay, now we need to. This actually is showing the shadow part of the middle of the blossom. Okay, so I'm dipping some more, and then I wanted to just impress upon your mind a little bit about surrounding the yellow part. Okay, because we're looking, with this painting, we're looking straight down, okay? So most of the petal are just facing up, looking at us, okay? And so that's what, and then you can come with a clean brush, like clean your little brush, and then, or whatever brush you use, and then just kind of soften it a little bit, not really necessary. But I thought that I'll do that because, okay, now on this, some of it is on the side, okay? Let's say that maybe this petal, I want the, that is turned a little bit, okay? So you're seeing the side view. And if that's the case, then you put the shadow part right here. Now, if you just on the bottom half, if you do it over here, just put the shadow part on one side, then with our eye, when we look at it, when people look at it or yourself, you see that you're expecting it to be a side petal. And so the flower a side blossom, but the flower need to be consistent, okay? If you want it to be just on the bottom, the shadow part, then the flower need to be the same way, okay? So we're not going to do a lot of those, okay? So mainly what we're gonna do is we're gonna just surrounding the middle yellow part with the quinacridone burnt orange to show the shadow, okay? And so we'll get to these when we're there, okay? We're not going to worry about them too much for now, okay? Just that because why do I stress that point? Because I made a mistake when I was painting, and I say, oh, that flower look kind of strange, and I say, why does it look strange? Oh, it looks strange because my perspective is not right. The way I painted the middle actually make a big difference. Wow. Okay, now we just assume it, because since we're in Utah, this is quite dry. Can you look at me? I'm just fanning the middle part and say, okay, you're done drying, right? You're dry now. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm still using my sprawl brush and my small zero brush to pick up the color, okay? But then I'm going to, my trusty happy dot, okay? What I'm gonna do with my happy dot is I'm gonna dip that in water, okay? Dip that in water, and I'm going to have a napkin and kind of dry the tip, okay? So this is kind of wet, but not dripping with water, not wet, not too wet, okay? Kind of dryish wet, and then I'm going to use it to disperse the color. Okay, you see what I'll do. I'll hold this in one hand, okay? I do that because in this, that's the technique of this flower, okay? Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, okay? I'm going to kind of go in the middle and painted the line that's coming out. It doesn't have to be always connected, and it doesn't have to be too obvious, but if we do this, and then it will make our next part a little bit easier, then we don't have to worry about too much, okay? Now the reason why I'm doing aster is because I have a little bit of aster on my garden. It's wild. Somehow it just kind of, well, maybe the previous owner of the house did that, or maybe it was me. So do you see that? I'm just outlining the middle part, okay? So it will be a little bit more, obvious, okay? Now this petal is running into this one, right? Okay, so we can do that and just help us to remember that a little bit. That, it's better for me because when I'm painting and talking at the same time, I like to talk with you guys and have a happy time together. I like to do that. Now, but only on this free blossom, okay? Because on the other one, you can do that, but it's not that quite necessary, okay? It's not really that necessary because it's supporting the focal point, okay? So you can do it, but, it's like really, or you can do it at the end if you think that, oh, I'm not seeing it too well, okay? Because, like I say, sometimes as I paint, I change my mind. And if I do too much of a prep over there, then I have to stick with the color. And purple is always a color that is permanent. It doesn't wait for you, for that much, okay? Now we have do that, and we are assuming that it's dry because now we're in Utah. And I assume that all of us are in Utah. If it is not dry, then you can do this silly thing like fan the painting a lot or a little bit, or use a blow dryer, whatever, if you happen to be in very, very humid weather, okay? And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna now come to this V area, okay? Because the background, so this is called negative painting, okay? Even though the background is a little bit of, and we'll do a few of them, okay? Just follow the line that I have prepared for you, okay? And then we come with this brush and then we pull the color out, okay? That's what we call the negative painting. We're not actually painting the flower. We're painting the background that is next to it, okay? And that will show the petal, right? Isn't that pretty? And so we will just keep doing that. That's what the main part of it is, okay? And then I say, oh, maybe I want some green on that. Now, this is actually the time. Now, but if you wanted to do it as I do, okay, I'm putting perylene green, right? Right into the purple. Can you see that? Now, why can I do that without muddying the color? One is because it's mixing the color on the page, okay? And that's one of the reason. And another reason is because, you know, I share with all of my years of experience what color actually would go together without turning into mud. And so it is very, very good to stick with it. Try your best if you have the color to follow my suggestion, okay? And so don't worry about that now. Also because aster is actually kind of purple, if the color just run into the petal, oh, we don't worry at all. Because aster is not white. At least the one that's around my house. I'm sure that they have some white aster out there somewhere, okay? But, and so now we're still doing the same thing, okay? Do this kind of V shape. Okay, this kind of V shape. Don't do too many of them because then you don't want to lose control, meaning that, you know, if you surround all of it all at one time, okay? Still this brush, okay? Trying to pull the color out, okay? If you do it and then, you know, this part will be all dry and then the purple-ish color are a little bit permanent. It's good and it's not so good. You can see that I'm pulling it into this flower right here, no problem, okay? You see why in a minute, okay? And then I say, oh, maybe I want some sap green, okay? So I can use my bigger brush and dip on the tip of the sap green, and then I put some green over here. Because the aster flower, the base of the flower full of green, right? And usually, you know, in garden, like especially in mine, what happens is they have weeds underneath. And so I'm going to do this V part, okay? So we just keep going. And then we'll come back and do something else too in a minute after, in a second after it's dry. Not second, but whenever we get around to it, okay? We don't mind it. We pull the color out. Okay, and then the color, some of it can go inside. We don't mind. Okay, you can see that, and that's how we're gonna paint the aster. Okay, and this is how I wanted it to look. Okay, and then I say, well, maybe over here I want the color to be a little deeper, and so now that's when the dioxazine purple come in. Okay, still a wet brush and go dip it in some dioxazine purple, because dioxazine purple and quinacridone violet go very well together. Okay, dioxazine purple has blue tone to it, a lot of blue tone to it, so it's almost like it's the shadow, the very shadowy part. Okay, so we wanted to do it that way. Okay, put the dark, the value of the dark tone darker. Okay, and that's very, very nice. And then we'll come back later. And now we're gonna work on this, the same thing, okay? Oh, I just used the dioxazine purple, no problem. Okay, I meant to use the quinacridone violet, but you know, it was on my brush. And so I will live up to it and claim that I meant to do that. Okay, and then pull that color out, okay? Have fun, right? And so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna work our painting like this, okay? And just so you can remember, there's 2 layers of petals on this flower, okay? And so some of the V on the back is like, because there's another petal, like there's another petal behind that one, okay? And so we just need to kind of a little bit careful, not really. You know, and if you miss it, you know, I won't beat myself up for it, and you shouldn't either, okay? And maybe the second time you paint it, you say, oh, I'll just be a little more careful this time, but, you know, don't worry, okay? Because the main objective of this painting is we're gonna learn it together, okay? Of how to paint cluster of flowers that are small and that are together, okay? So let's just close it up like this, okay? A little bit, okay? And why are we doing that? Because, you know, me, Kathy, is thinking ahead of time. We're gonna do this year we're gonna do it, okay? Because last year I didn't want to do it because I thought it might be too hard, it might take too long, but this year we're gonna do it. And around April or March, we're gonna do cherry blossom. A different way, I have a cherry blossom. If you guys haven't noticed it, go just look at my channel and go find it. That one is actually kind of, I think, relatively easy and fun to paint. And you guys should, if you have time, you know, check it out and maybe just really paint it because it's just fun. Okay, pull that out. And I need to do this V over here. Okay, because it's budding next to the other one, right? And just pull that out. You can see that, and that's how I separate. And over here, I don't really need to do that, but I'll just do it for fun and for your sake, okay? Because if you worry about, you know, accounting for each petal, you know, I am not that kind of artist. I usually like to have things more loose and vague, and that's always fun for me. But I think that as beginner though, sometimes we do like to, you know, worry about like a little bit more worry about disappearing line or disappearing things, you know, and so that's perlene greening. And so if that's how you are working it right now, then that's fine too, okay? That's really fine with me. And so since this is the focal point, we're gonna do this part right here a little bit, okay? And I hope that my my flaring brush does not bother you. And see, since I have told you guys a long time ago, I'm just like that, you know. I don't really worry about the brush getting old. I'll just work around it, because I'm, you know, once I start painting, I'm very, very focused on the painting. You know, I seldom really worry about the material that I'm using unless it really bothers me. Then I'm very annoyed, and that's when I kind of what I call wake up and say, okay, maybe I should address the issue, but usually I don't. And so now what we're gonna do is like just have some fun, okay? Use my this happy dot brush, and I'm adding some indigo on here, okay? Now if you see the color disperse, that means my my area over there is still kind of wet, which is fine, okay? Because the background, we're gonna make it so that it's very, what do you call that? Very nice and loose, and you can see the leaf or you can't see the leaf, you can't really tell, okay? And so go back to the happy dot brush, and now I'm using paint spray. I didn't show you my paint spray because it's in a big palette that is very, 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 very messy, okay? And so the same technique though, right? I don't really worry, and just let the, you know, I just put it on top of those color, right? Now, like just, you know, I've said that a little bit ago, you know, just a reminder to you, okay? When we're doing things like that, you can see Kathy is like, you know, mixing all these colors because that they're very mixable, okay? Especially if you mix them on the page, okay? Don't really try very hard to, you know, mix a puddle of water, you know, because of experience. I know that it will get muddy, and then we will have a muddy puddle, and you know. But now you can see the, you know, the color that's mixed together is very vibrant, if I may say so, and nice, okay? So I just want to stress that, you know, if you trust me, and so this is a little bit of, oh, my hand got dirty. Need to wipe that, you know, like, you know, you put your hand down, right, and you get into some of the color. Now what am I doing? I'm doing a bud over here, okay? And so what I did is I do some perlene green, and you know, I don't want just perlene green, so I'm gonna dip some. And actually the paint also mix on my brush. If you don't clean your brush and you go dip it into your palette, the water, the paint also mix on your brush, and you can do that, okay? If it is not dark enough, then you can do what I do, you know, go get some indigo and drop it over here while it's still wet, then just let it mix, okay? And so that's the blossom, and we can actually do a blossom too. Should we do like a bud that's coming out? Okay, let's do that, okay? Let's use this, you know, because I saw that when I was when I was looking at it, observing it, it does have some kind of a bud coming out sometimes, okay? And so we kind of outline the outside, and then we kind of put and drop some the darker color in the middle, okay? And so that's our bud, okay? And now we need to come over here and do that V, but this is a blossom that's opening, okay? So we're not going to surround it with petal, okay? Just you know, half of it, if that makes sense. And wow, the reason I need to explain to you guys that why you haven't seen me. One is because I was very, very busy, and the other reason is because I have practice and I have all these ideas, right? And and I thought about it and I thought about it, and then I go and practice the painting, and I wanted to do a sunflower mixed with the ester on the bottom, around the area, right? And by the time I was done, it took me 3 hours, and I said I can do 3 hours. I can't do 3 hours with my people meaning you guys, that will be too long. And then so I say, okay, I'll just give that up. And then I gave that up, and then I'm dipping some quinacridone violet, and just kind of drop the color in, and then clean the brush and push it and pull it out, okay? And then back to quinacridone violet, and maybe a little bit of a define. I define the petal a little bit, and so I say, okay, now then I can't do that. The sunflower is out. And then I try to do a pumpkin, and then with the ester flower, and I say, okay, that's out too, because it just take me too long. And so pretty soon when I'm done, I just say, okay, let's just do the ester by itself, okay? How is that? And I also want to do the chrysanthemum. Now, the chrysanthemum is rounder, not as pointy as this, so that will take a little bit less time. And I decide to no, and it was, taking a long time. So I don't know, so that means I have to do a smaller cluster of the flower or the painting, And so I just keep changing my mind, and pretty soon I haven't filmed anything. And I tell myself, Kathy, that really failed. And then I got busy, and then I got out of town. I went out of town, and some things happened in the family, and pretty soon. Now on this, on the edge of this, I'm just gonna have fun and put some quinacridone burnt orange here. Okay. Now what is Kathy doing? I'm just saying that there might be flowers over there, and some yellow. Okay. Now we don't even have to stress over that, and maybe even some, you can actually paint the petal, we don't really, one or two, and then come and fuzzy it up, because you know that there's a flower over there, right? You agree with me? And then we're gonna work on this one now. What do I have on my brush? Just to be careful, I would outline the V shape, the negative painting part over here, okay? And then, like I say, don't do too many of them, so we, by the time we want to soften the edge, then it's, and so it's all nice and fuzzy. And what should I put? Yeah, over there to fuzzy it up, okay? And this is a very, very good practice of this technique. This is a lot of watercolorists just use these technique, and that's all they do, because, some watercolorists like the soft all the time, right? Okay, so this is a blossom, and that's a blossom, not a full flower. That's why it's green, okay? And okay, I wanted to put some Payne's Gray and want you guys to know how beautiful Payne's Gray is mixed with. Now my Payne's Gray is Daniel Smith, and I think most of these colors are Daniel Smith. At the quinacridone, the dioxazine purple over there is actually from M. Grant. And I put that on my product link, and then you can find them, okay? In my products that I use, okay? In my blog, not the blog post, okay? And so we're gonna leave this area because we think it's very, very pretty for now, okay? Now we're going to go on to the supporting, okay? Oh, maybe I'll put a little bit more Payne's Gray, because I'm just seeing that how beautiful it support the flower, right? Like I always say, the Chinese always saying peony is good, but you must not forget the green. The peony is so pink and white, but if you forget the green, then it will. That's what the painters always say. You forget the green, then it will not be. It will not be the green actually support, right? So the color, the green color. Oh, this one, the green color. In the back, actually, I'm just smoothing. There was a really harsh line over there. Smoothing that out, okay? And the supporting shadow brings out the flower, make the flower more white or more orange, and at this point, I say, maybe I want the quinacridone, to be more brilliant, okay? And so now that it's dry, I can add that without them mixing color, right? And so you can see that it's, it just make the color more vibrant. Okay, now we're gonna do the supporting. Now the supporting, we don't need to do every single petal. Okay, so you see they look like an egg shape, with bigger V on the outside. Okay, and so they're not actually look like this, because it's what I would say the side of your eye. Okay, when you're looking at a bush of flower, the side of your eye will make things look kind of like what I'm painting right now. Okay, they're not totally in focus, and the shape are not as sharp. Okay, and that's artists like us use that a lot. Okay, and so the V is not the V shape is not as sharp like the angle of the V. Okay, it's going to be like, do you see that? It's going to be bigger. The angle is bigger. Okay, and so this is what the supporting flowers of the asters. Okay, and so finally I say, but you guys rest assured. Okay, 1 year I'm going to do chrysanthemum like this kind with you. It could be next year during the fall period. Okay, I really don't know, because sometimes it just all depends on my practice and how my mood is and how I counted the minute. Okay, I'm pulling it over this side because it's casting shadow on this one, and on this flower, so I'm not even worried. Okay, and I just wanted it to be soft and pretty, because by the time we do our cherry blossom, I promise you guys are gonna have fun. Okay, and now while that part is still a little bit wet, I'm dropping some Payne's Gray in it. Okay, and hopefully if the water is still a little bit wet, then it will just disperse, and I don't have to worry about the bottom part, like the shadowy part. Okay, and I say, maybe I need some green over here, so I just go pick up some perlin green and I'm dropping it over here. Okay, and so do you see that I just make a petal shape? Okay, I negative paint, let's negative paint a petal over here. Okay, but just just one or two. Okay, while you're going, and then you can see that to your eye there's a little flower over there. Okay, and just gonna let that be wet, because we don't touch wet area that is getting too wet too much, because then it will really sometimes we can lose lose the result that, or the not the result or the effect that we wanted. Okay, so not too wet, but just wet enough. And that is something that you will need to practice and experience with your paper, where you're from, the weather, the humidity of your room, and how much you pick up flour, or how much you pick up the paint, and how much you like to wipe. Okay, some people are very heavy-handed, and so I know that with beginner you like to say, hey Kathy, show us how much we're supposed to wipe and things like that, but that doesn't work very well when we do that, because you might try to, because your hand is different than my hand, and you might try to say, I'll just wipe as much as Kathy does. Sometimes it just doesn't work, because your effort, how you push things is different than how I push things, right? And so I have explained that a lot of people have asked me questions, and say, I just can't control the water. But controlling the water and the paint is something that you will need to work on. Okay, so there's another flower over here. Okay, it's something that you will need to work on as you go, and then you get used to yourself and how your hands work, how your fingers work, and then you will be able to get the result that you want. Okay, I promise that. And so practicing is sometimes just a very important thing. But as I was painting this and getting this ready to film, I told myself, yes, this is exactly how I do cherry blossom. Okay, and so there's two ways, right? You can do the petal. You can do like zoom in on the flower, or you can zoom out like this with cherry blossom. They're both very, very pretty. The zoom out one, in my opinion, is a little bit harder than the zoom in one, okay? And so we will do that, okay? We will do that in March, and I'll try to remember doing that with you guys, okay? And so I'm just like painting some leaves. And now I wash the brush, dab it dry, and then come back, clean brush, okay, and pull the color out, okay? And that is a technique that we work on all the time. Okay, that's just watercolor. Watercolor in a nutshell. Okay, now if you say, oh, I like the petal to be a little bit more defined, then you can go in and put little line. Okay, go in and put little line in the divot point, but I don't need to do that because I appreciate this kind of shape and flower, right? And shape and focus, let's call it focus. And so I don't need to do that. To me, this is, because of this, then I know that this has to be the aster flower also. But just our focus from your eye a little bit. So we don't want the middle part to be too vibrant, the color, okay? Because when we do that, then we are zooming in. And so that's kind of ambiguous to the eye, and so in my humble opinion, it's not necessary and might not even be desired. Okay, now this part is a little bit wet, okay, still, and so I'm trying to do a petal. You see that? This is the petal over here, okay? So to your eye, it's you can see that it's there or it's not there, okay? And if you really want people to see your suggestion, then all you have to do is do this, okay? That's another flower over there. Is to go get your cadmium yellow and dot it, right? And so people can see, oh, okay, there's a flower. She's trying to show us the flower. And then a little bit of quinacridone burnt orange, okay? Wow, isn't that fun? Okay, now let's not hurry. Now, I always it seems like I'm hurrying, and I think that I am hurrying, but the thing is, you guys don't have to, okay? Just, I have to say that every time. You guys don't have to hurry. You have all the time that you need. I am filming. I usually, what I do is I film all this in one shot, okay? That's better for my brain, and I like to do things that way. You guys can go have lunch, go have a snack, go on a walk. If you need to exercise, that kind of, I am the need to exercise that kind of people, okay? Then you can do all those. Okay, you see that how I use this brush to pick up. Now this brush I'm doing that V shape, okay? Now the petals are actually, and this one, I can go dip it in quinacridone, dioxazine purple, and also come pull it out, okay? Come pull that out, okay? And then go clean it, soften it, and then, so you can see me, I'm holding two brushes at the same time. And I will know that you will do it too, eventually. It's very natural. After you paint for a long time, you don't worry about it. You're trying, when you're painting with this one will not get onto the paint, usually. And do whatever, you need, right? Do whatever you like, okay? That you need and that your body subconsciously will go into doing, and you will find that it's kind of fun. You one day you pick up two brushes and hold it in one hand, and you're just like, oh, why am I doing that? And that's a congratulation in order, because your brain is, trying to help you using your fingers better. Yeah, so I went to Moab. It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And recently, and so I turned 58. Oh my goodness. Is that old? I don't feel old. I mean, yes, I do feel old. Sometimes I do feel old. Like when I'm tired, I get tired easier. Like if I hike, I can't hike the distance that I used to hike. But I still do it. I just make myself really, really tired. But, before I talk about that, but can you see how the green mixed with the purple and the Payne's gray and the two-color purple, two kinds of purple, just so pretty, okay? You can even put green and yellow, it's fine, okay? So I put some cadmium. It might make this cadmium yellow medium. You can put some cadmium yellow light. Okay, because you're doing the background, right? You're doing the background. You can put some of those there, and then right next to those, Okay, yellow and purple does not go very well together. They will make kind of mud. Okay, but I'm not going to let them go too close together. See, right? And see, I'm still doing a petal over here. Okay. Now, if you're worried about putting purple and yellow because they're complementary color, okay, then don't do that. Don't follow me. Just wait until this is dry. Wait until that is dry. Okay, and putting some purple over there. Just to work the background, right? You can work the background until you ran out of border, your paper. But, it is just so fun. It really is just so fun to be able to do things like that, like that, okay? And so this one is like kind of done, and then we'll work on this one, okay? So bring back the little brush and do a V that is, but don't do it like this and this and this. Like what I mean is don't make the angle all the same degree, okay? Some of them narrow and some of them wide, okay? Because variety, right? We don't want too systematic when we're painting. Okay, and so that there's something darker, so I'm gonna drop this darker dioxazine purple in it, no problem, okay? You even come over here and kind of fix that one, and while we're here we'll just kind of do this one. Okay, just take your time, and whatever level of speed you're comfortable with, you just do that, okay? Okay, and then if you actually want a little more practice, what you can do is also instead of doing the whole painting, do individual flower as practice, okay? And I'm doing a petal over here, okay? Just a suggestion of the flower over there. Like you can, practice little flower first. That's, you're your own boss, right? You do whatever you feel comfortable with, okay? Yeah, so I went hiking at Moab, and so that my husband liked to do that, and I because it's good for our health, and I sometimes I get a little bit of depressed in the winter time when the sunlight is not so hiking, because you hike up to high altitude, sorry, and then you will be able to get some more sun, right? And so he know for sure to take me to do that kind of thing, so that I will not get lack of sunlight for too long. It's just the winter blue, right? And as I get older, I seems to get it, but I didn't when I was younger, so go figure, right? And so we're almost done, and so what we're gonna do is come over here and finish this one, okay? Different angle, okay? Different angle of the V, some big angle and some small angle, and some in between the angle, I mean this V shape right here, okay? You do anything that's less than 45 degree, I think. You know that I am a math person too, so I think mathematics and art go very much together. The logic part of my mind is very active. Okay, now I just want to point something out. Now this surrounding is kind of round, right? I usually do not like that, okay? So I would bring some, let's do some green and, just disperse it, okay? Shape that you can identify is better than, making rectangle, I mean on the background, outside making rectangle on, or circle, or square is if you can avoid that, okay? Just make this abstract, in my opinion, okay? So this is perlin green, okay? Just drop some, or whichever the green color that you like. Sap green, you know that, right? I've talked about that enough. Sap green and perlin green are just good friends, and then let's put the other good friend, which is indigo, in here, okay? Now indigo, you can see that suddenly it'll make things dark, right? And if you wanted to, shape things out, make a shape here that indicate that there's flower, then now is the time too, okay? And so now I see that there's like this little, let's make a shape then. Well, what should we use to make a shape? Let's use dioxazine purple, okay? Dioxazine purple, and come in here. What shape is Kathy gonna make? I'm just gonna make a blossom here. Okay, and see if we can do that. And if you try that and it works, then it's great. But if it doesn't work, then just put a big bunch of color quickly on it and cover it up. Okay, so I'm kind of making a blossom, okay? You see that? That is totally called negative painting. We're gonna have so much fun when we start doing, and then I'm going to reverse the order, and put purple in the middle. You can do that too, okay? And to you, that's still an aster flower, okay? No problem and no worry, okay? So in a nutshell, okay, this is actually we're done. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, like, I use that brush that's not dripping with water, okay? Just kind of, wet the area, and then what I'm gonna do is I am going to put some foliage. Gently, okay? So I'm going to, use the green, okay? Use a paint spray. And I'm using a sharp pen, but a sharp brush, but a very, very diluted color, okay? And then I'm going to go in here and click in some, just put in some, almost like the branch or the twigs, okay? And so that you can, because this is a very, what do you call that? Very blossom intense painting, okay? But with our nature, we with blossom there's also twigs in there, okay? So we need to put some of those back, but very vaguely as suggestion, okay? And I will put some here and there, and then we can end our painting. Put some here and there too, okay? Now that is very, very wet, and so it does not want to take it. So I'm gonna come over here and put some of those over there, okay? Like this area right here is where I drop in a big bunch of color and water, and so it doesn't want to do that for us, okay? And so let's put some, vaguely put some leaf on the edge, okay? Sorry, I need to go into my reference painting, just a second. Reference photo, actually. I don't, need to show you guys where the reference photo come from, because, sometimes I look at, and use some sap green, and then I'm going to do a leaf over here, okay? Whatever. I think that leaf is long. Okay, so it's true to that leaf, and we're going to put a leaf over here and make it long, because that's the way it is, okay? So this one is from the background, it's just sticking out, okay? And I don't want it to be too strong, and so I go in there and fuzz it up. Okay, now, like after I do this one, I'll show you. Okay, so that's and then go use a clean brush and fuzz it up. Okay, so you can see the leaf, right? It's there, but it's not taking away from the flower. Do you know that leaf does not have to be, in watercolor that are like this, it does not have to be green. So you see I'm using dioxazine purple. And then when I do that, I can make this petal look skinnier, because I think that that's more true to the nature, okay? And fuzz it up a little bit, just a little bit, but you can see that there's a leaf there, okay? And now I'm also going to use the red purple and do some leaf shape over here, okay? Okay, so there's a leaf shape, okay? Just fuzz it up, and then I'm going to also go in with the indigo. Let's go in with indigo. Of course, indigo will look like there's a leaf, and some of the leaf are going this way, right? From the bottom. Okay. Fuzzy it out a little bit, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the whole painting with you guys, okay? So I'm going to come over here, and this is kind of dryish wet brush, not too wet, okay? No dripping water, okay? I'm gonna do some more of the suggestion of the middle of part of the over here. just to make this painting a little more festive, okay? And then some will go over here. I think that's cadmium yellow medium. Okay, so I'm just dotting it, right, as you can see, and then I can go, without even cleaning the brush, go into the quinacridone, because this kind of color, it balances like nature does that, right? Nature balance each other out very, very perfectly. Our master painter, our god, you know, are very, very good, right? And so they are complementary color, and they happen to be in the plant, so it gives our eye a rest, and it's like a rest of intensity of looking at too much purple. You know, I'm always at awe at things like this, and because I noticed that, I'm going to, you know, so now you can see, right, I'm just suggesting some petal over here, right? Can you see that? And so the lighter color in the inside, you know, kind of show up, okay? And so don't worry about it. You know, if you think that it's too purple intense, then you put some more yellow on your background, okay? And so there was some green in here, so I dip it in the yellow and I turn it into green, which is fine. I meant to do that. Actually, I did not, but I claimed that. Okay. Yeah, just have you guys been to Moab? Moab is really, really a fun place. You know, you look at the you can go see all the rocks formation, and just wow, sometimes it's just majestic. I think that's how, you know, how you can. We were just there a couple of nights because you know, I'm busy, right? I have to do this, my husband has his job, you know, so we just went for a couple of nights, but it's just really, really fun. I strongly recommend that. Okay, and then I do some of this pink spray. Okay, that's on my brush, very light amount of pink spray, so that it will suggest that there is some branches in here somewhere. Okay, and then if you are the people that like to splash, now is also the time you can splash, but I'm not the kind that like to splash, you know, and so I will just do dips of the quinacridone burnt orange, and then I will clean up the brush. I enjoy this kind of splash better, if you call that a splash, you know. I enjoy that a little better. And then don't forget, you know, you need to put some purple splash too, if you may call it splash. And then just fussy this out, okay? Okay, all right. Do I need anything else? Okay, I think this is it. Okay, and it's you know, a fussy kind of painting, and we will when you guys have some time to master this more, then we will I promise we will do cherry blossom, and you'll love it. I think you will. It's a little bit harder. This style of painting really is a little bit harder, but I think it's worth you know, doing it, so that you will be able to try this out. Okay, and thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in my next painting. Love you all. Thank you for your support.